What's good, sports gamers, and today I'll be going over with you the basics and some tips regarding dribbling in NBA 2K19. So alright, let's get it.
Sports Gamers Online is the #1 source for the sports gamer.
The first move you want to get the hang of is the crossover. And to do it, you simply flick the right stick towards your off-ball hand. This is the most common way to beat defenders who are too aggressive or try to cut you off one way, so you just go back the other as a counter. Now you can cause defenders to take the bait and become over-aggressive a couple of ways. Start with a single cross and wait a second before you do another one to hopefully get your defender leaning in the wrong direction, whether from a steal attempt or trying to cut you off, and then you simply drive the other way. There's a double cross you can do by flicking the right stick to your off-ball hand twice. So if the ball starts in your right hand, you flick it to the left, then back to the right to do it. Bridges here is not the best ball handler, so his double cross doesn't look too sexy, although I got this defender to freeze a bit. A lot of guys have lunges and stuff that create space for you automatically with theirs. I also love to pair the cross with the use of the pick and roll by baiting defenders to think you're going to use it. And with a quick flick of the right stick, you go the opposite way. Throughout this video, you'll find that I pair a lot of different dribble moves with the threat of a pick and roll, because they help each other that much. And lastly, an easy use of the crossover is when defenders open up too wide as you coming up the court. I've gotten way too many people on this, all because they got too close to the sideline and made it hard for their defender to recover inside, especially against such a quick change of direction move like the crossover. Next is the between the legs cross, which you do by holding the right trigger on your controller, then flick the right stick towards your off-ball hand. I favor the regular crossover over the between the legs one, but you do protect the ball better with this one when it switches hands. And if you push it to your off-ball hand 2 times, it triggers his double between the leg sizer. Jamal Crawford has a real crazy one where he moves like halfway across the court. And as you can see, John Wall moves off his spot with his as well. Now for the behind the back dribble. This one protects the ball completely from the defender when you do it. And a lot of players cover serious ground when you perform a behind the back dribble on the move. You can do this along with the cross to beat defenders who over pursue you. It also gets the ball into the hand the screen is set up on without exposing the ball. The protection it gives you is invaluable. And to perform it, all you have to do is flick the right stick down. Next is the in and out dribble, and it's another way to get your defender to bite in one direction and for you to go the other, but more likely to get the defender to freeze just enough for you to go right by him. The best part of this move is you're already facing the way you should drive if the defender doesn't react the way they should. And to do it, you hold the right trigger and flick the right stick up. Now my favorite is the hesitation, and I mainly only do this when I'm stationary. And to perform it, you flick the right stick to your ball hand. For some reason, maybe they're staring at me raising the ball in the air, but I get a lot of people frozen when I perform it, way more than the in and out. I mix up the timing of my drive off the hesitation as well. I either drive once the ball is in the air, or let the animation finish, then drive as soon as it does. That works a lot for some reason. And if they get a little bit too aggressive and try to cut off the drive, you can cross it the other way. And of course you could combine it with a pick and roll to go around, or bait them into it with the ball on the same side as the screen and go the other way. Another good one is combining 2 of the moves I went over, the cross and the hesitation, into a cross escape hezi. It lets you keep the ball in the opposite hand until the last second until you cross it over to the opposite hand. So you can mix in backside screens, which in my terms is screens that set up on your empty hand side, or catch your opponent off guard because some of the jumps the cross escape hezi creates allows for easy drives. Next is the spin move. This is another move in your arsenal to beat over aggressive defenders. Although I favor the cross and behind the back over it because nobody has that fast of a spin move. But to do it, you swing the right stick from your ball hand around your back to your off ball hand. Against tough defenders though, this could give you a bit of daylight to get into the paint if you feel you're not going to get a complete drive-by animation on them. Because they will give ground to get into position to defend the spin. There's no you're denied animation. So you will get into the paint. This works best when the defender is moving sideways towards you or right up on you, like I mentioned in the blow-by animation. If they're coming towards you at an angle, you're better off just continuing to drive on by them instead of attempting this. Now to do a half spin, you start whichever hand the ball is in. So if it's in your left, aim the stick left. If it's in your right, you start on the right to swing the stick up. This works surprisingly well when you're stationary when you call for a pick and roll on your non-ball hand side. I even got a few users with it just walking up the court because they stopped moving their player. But it's not something I would rely on, more of a once or twice in a game type move. Next up is the step back. This can give you room when you're driving and you hope the defender keeps going past you. It uses their momentum against them. And doing it stationary, it can give you plenty of space for an open jumper using the move by itself, or if you mix in some dribble moves beforehand. And to perform a step back, you hold the right trigger and aim down on your controller. By aiming down, you can end up wide open for a jumper and or put the defender in such a bad position where you can pick what you want to do next. Now for the signature size ups that you can activate by flicking the right stick up. You can do this moving or in a stationary position. Obviously by the name, different players have different ones. Some are useless as you really gain no benefit from them, while others let you launch out of it pretty fast, like Kemba Walker has a good one for example. And some guys' rhythm dribbles can give you space for a jumper just by being convincing enough that the defender thinks you're about to drive. And like I mentioned, some of the best ones let you do so very quickly. I was getting into the paint with LeBron as an example because I could easily drive out of his when the defender messed up. And lastly, let's talk about combining moves together. Practicing enough, you can start to chain together different moves in one possession to destroy your defender. Like here, simple cross, then behind the back to protect the ball when I transfer it back over was all it took. Next, a Dame hesitation, backs Bellinelli all the way off. Then you add a cross to lure him back in, then cross it back over to go right by him once he comes up. And this last one, I was gonna do a screen, but the opponent jumped it, so I added a cross to try and move him out the way, which it does. So I cross back over again to take the screen, which I opened for myself just with the crossover baiting Covington the other way. But again, he's on it, so I finished with a stationary behind the back, which I did by letting go of the left stick and hitting down on the right to have Covington out of position to finish the play. Yeah, I missed the shot, but you get me. Just gotta practice the moves enough so when you're in game, you can start to, without thinking, based on how the defender is positioned or how he reacts, you then know what move you can do to him and account off of that. You don't gotta know 1,000 different moves. Just having a go-to and a counter in certain situations could go a long way. So with that, I hope this video was able to help you guys out. And stay tuned here at Sports Gamers Online for more NBA 2K19 tutorials, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. I'm Chris. Thank y'all for watching, and be good, y'all.
Met some of my friends, I can guarantee you peace of mind. That's what you told me. I can guarantee you peace of mind. I don't feel so peaceful.